from Zachariah. If unworthiness is a belief, fear, sense of inadequacy, failure, and powerlessness, how might one dissolve this blockage? Thank you.
Yeah, so this is definitely a first belief question. And again, we'll have a whole module dedicated to this belief. But let's just do something simple right now that we can all, regardless of where we are in the curriculum, that we can all relate to and connect with right now. I want you to trace back in your mind, in your memory, whatever past version of you has felt, maybe in junior high, right? You were bullied and picked on. That was sort of my story. Where did this feeling of inadequacy, powerlessness, failure, unworthiness, when do you first remember in your life experiencing that? We can all do this. Just take a minute. If you want to close your eyes, you can. Find that self, maybe at 5 years old, maybe at 10 years old, whenever it was. And then I want you, once you find that memory, I want you to compare and contrast what was still there at that age in that memory that is still here now identically, that has not changed. This is an immensely powerful spiritual practice to do for any kind of trauma or shadow that we want to heal. We can't say that our body's the same, obviously. We can't say that our conditioning is the same. At 5 years old or 10 years old, the things you wanted in life, the things you were afraid of in life are completely different, right? In fact, there's probably not even one thing that you could really say is the same about your desires and fears from that age to where you are now. So that can't be it either, right? So what can we find that is the same, that hasn't changed, that was still there? And when we look, and I emphasize look, right? We really have to see this for ourselves. Don't let my words be the connection for you. When we really look into our past memories, all we find that has not changed is a sense of presence, right? At whatever age it is that I'm capturing in my mind, there is a sense of I. There's an I, a subject, a knower, an experiencer, a perceiver, whatever you want to call it. There's a shining sense of existence that nobody taught you about. Did anyone have to tell you that you exist for you to know it? Do you have to confirm with anybody? Please, sir, can you tell me, do I exist? Yeah, I'm pretty sure you do. Oh, phew. You don't have to do that, right? Why? Because it's the most innate thing to what you are. I exist, I am. So if we can all find that sense of presence, then let's ask these questions to that and see if they hold up. Is that immaculate sense of presence that's just there? You've never had an experience without it or apart from it. Does that sense of I fail? Is it powerless? You see, it doesn't even apply, does it? Powerless to what? Powerless in comparison to whom? Right? For the I, there's just I. It doesn't know anything else. Is the I afraid of anything? Or is the I the one watching afraidness or fear? So yeah, whatever experience I have, whether fear or pleasure, love or pain, whatever experience is happening, there's just an I in the background aware of all of it. And it doesn't know powerlessness, doesn't know failure, it doesn't know fear, inadequacy. So how does one dissolve this blockage? Find out who you really are. This is the one medicine for everything. Who are you really? Because yeah, maybe you could dissolve the blockage through lots of mantra repetition, through lots of Kriya yoga or something. Maybe you get that blockage to come up. But if you still think you're a person on a journey to get free and you're separate from the source and you're not that, if you still believe that stuff, guess what? More blockages will come up. So all spiritual practice has to come down to this, right? Find out who you really are in reality. Stop imagining yourself to be a dream character. You know, how easy is it to look out at the world and see everybody else and all the people hustling and bustling to and fro and having their daily lives and desiring and fearing and just running from pleasure, running from pain and clinging to pleasure, and then dying. You know, millions and millions of people, billions of people are doing this. And we can just kind of sit back and go, yeah, it's all just happening. It's all just a big dream going on. Everyone thinks they're this person who needs to get fulfilled with pleasure and needs to avoid pain. And then, oh, here comes the grave. Start over again. Do I want to be in that rat race? Do I want to be in that dream with everybody else? Or do I want to be illuminated to the truth? If that's what you want, then look within right now. Look directly into the awakened mind of your own awareness right now and find out what's true. When we look at that I, when we look at that sense of presence, what, if we could use the word qualities loosely, what qualities do we notice about it? Well, this awareness, this aware I sense of presence that really can't be named, we could say that it's empty, right? It isn't carrying any baggage with it. It doesn't have an agenda or something. It's not like trying to get somewhere, right? It doesn't have motives and stuff. So it's empty. Interesting. It doesn't appear to have an expiration date or a creation date. You know, I never have experienced the birth of awareness or something. No, it's just as far back as I can remember, awareness was always there. And we don't have any proof that awareness itself goes away when the physical body dies. No one's ever experienced that. In fact, ask people with near-death experiences and they'll say, no, awareness was very much still there after the body died, much more so even. So it doesn't appear as this awareness has a birth or a death. Interesting. Okay. We could also say that this awareness appears to be boundless, limitless. It isn't restricted by anything, right? Because anything that happens just comes into its awareness. It could be the worst, most despicable thing or the most beautiful, ecstatic thing you've ever seen. Either way, awareness is aware of it. So this awareness seems to be unlimited. There's nothing it can't be aware of. We could also say that it shines by its own light, can't we? We can't find a source of this awareness that's causing it to happen. We can't confirm that there's a power plug somewhere that awareness is plugged into. So it's self-shining and self-luminous. Wow. So look at all these qualities we've just looked inside of our own being and confirmed. So then we do the ultimate test of, can you, whatever you consider you to be, can you separate yourself apart from that? Right? Can there be a you independent of this awareness or this I-ness? See if you can do it. You know, prove it to yourself right now. Just try and not be aware. Ready, go. And you still hear me talking and you're still aware of the room you're in and awareness is just still going on. Okay, so I can't seem to disconnect myself from awareness. So can I really say that I'm other than that? If I'm not other than that, then all of its qualities must be my qualities. And that is the Sat Chit Ananda of Advaita Vedanta. Sat is existence, Chit, consciousness, Ananda is bliss. When existence and consciousness merge into one, when awareness and that which is existing in awareness are seen as the same thing, the experience of that is bliss, because you recognize all of the qualities of existence and consciousness are my qualities, because I am that. And it's impossible to have that epiphany and have it not be bliss, because that's God's nature, right? At the highest level of what God is experiencing nothing but ecstatic bliss and union with itself, because its will is always being accomplished. It's never been separate. It knows nothing but love and oneness, so it can't be in any other state other than bliss. So at the core of what you are, if you know yourself correctly and truly, you will experience that bliss. And just a tiny fraction of it, right? Just a little grain of sand on the ocean of beingness. But just that one grain of sand is samadhi in this density level. It's divine ecstasy and God absorption. So it's like we only need to take a little taste of it to be free forever. That's how expansive your being really is. That's how infinite you are. If you could just glimpse your real nature for a second, unworthiness, failure, powerlessness, who does that apply to? What do these ideas even mean? Inadequate against what? There's just one being in the universe. I am that. We even see this in the chakras, right? We have like we said, the first chakra, the root, the Muladhara, and then we have the Sahasrara at the crown. And that whole spectrum represents our beingness. At the root is Sat, existence, right? At the crown is Chit, or consciousness. And in the middle is the heart chakra, bliss, existence, consciousness, and where they meet, bliss. The heart opens to that recognition, and it's felt as love, ecstasy, joy, happiness, and only the heart feels those things. The heart is the emotive center. It's the only emotive center in terms of positively polarized emotions in the energy centers. So again and again, when these blocks come up, when these beliefs come up, when these feelings come up, look inside, find out what's really true, find out what can't be denied, look into that which can't be disregarded, look into that which can't be debated against, and just keep holding everything to that standard. When we do that, the conviction builds in us more and more. I am that. I am that. I am that. No problems exist for me. All the problems are on behalf of the mind and the person and the story that I've been imagining I am. And that's okay. That's not wrong. That's part of the journey. But I can know who I am and heal that stuff, be aware of that stuff, evolve and expand, all the while like a game that I'm playing or something. Now I'm just pure awareness playing the game of this avatar, Zachariah. So you can be in that game without being limited by it or identified with it or restricted by it, right? You can be that background of eternal consciousness all the time. And oh, there's a painful feeling, must be a blockage somewhere. Let's find out where it is. But all the while, I know who I am. None of that stuff means I'm not free, right? Just because there's a painful emotion arising in the chakras, who cares? Why does that mean you're not free? We just keep imprisoning ourselves with that belief that we're not already free because we think everything means something about us, right? That's why the first module's mantra is, whatever appears is not me. It's just an appearance on the screen, just watching it. I am the screen itself. I am pure awareness itself. The more we know that, it doesn't become a burden anymore to deal with these blockages and these painful emotions. It's just something arising to be loved. Just something arising to meet the light of truth in me. I am that truth.